Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Wow. Thanks, Justin. That's 8 seconds we'll never get back.
8 seconds.
Never get those 8 seconds back. Not ever.
So our apologies to the audience for being a little bit late here today.
Going to be 8 second shorter show today.
Wow.
You have Justin to thank for it. So, don't come to us. You go directly to Justin.
Yeah, what's your
on the board today?
What's your Twitter handle, Justin? I want people to tell you all about this today. What was it again?
I don't have Twitter anymore. I just deleted it.
No, you didn't. No, sir. No, I will not allow you to get away with this.
All right, welcome to it. Great to have you with us. Hope you had a great Father's Day weekend. Hope, Bill, you had a great Father's Day weekend.
Yes.
Bill from years ago, who was pissed off that we were talking about mothers on Mother's Day. And we told him, why don't you wait until, I don't know, Father's Day? Then we'll talk about fathers. And I don't think that was good enough for him. I'm not sure if Bill stuck around after that.
So restrictive.
All right. There was the Western Conservative Conference over the weekend where they got together, and it's kind of like CPAC, I guess. Only different. It happens at a different time and a different place. But conservatives gather and they do the straw poll just like CPAC does. And obviously could vote more than once for people because Ron DeSantis won the poll with 74.12%. Followed by Donald Trump at 71.43%.
Okay.
Then we had Ted Cruz at 42.86%. So almost 30 points behind the leaders there. Mike Pompeo, number 4. Tim Scott, number 5. Kristi Noem and Tom Cotton were tied for 6th. And then there was Rand Paul, Donald Trump Jr. Wow, he's really slipped since the first couple of polls I've seen. And Dan Crenshaw was in there. Former vice president and current bane of Trump, Mike Pence, came in down the list at 10th place. Pence, I think, was 2nd or 3rd at one point, wasn't he? Now he's 10th. He was met with some booing and shouts of traitor at another conservative conference. Okay.
So Greg Abbott didn't even show up on this list?
No. Not in the top 10 anyway. So I don't know. I don't know that Greg Abbott has made any noise about running, actually.
Well, not now. Not lately, I should say.
Yeah.
But you're right. He hasn't personally. But I just mean the drum beats, as they were, have really cooled since COVID.
Nobody's beating that drum for him.
Yeah, but
right
I mean,
now.
that's what I mean. In the last year and a half, you're right.
Yeah.
But
So
interesting
we'll see.
polling there.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah. Also, we got the Pat Gray bingo sheet, the brand new bingo card this week. Starting out in the upper left-hand corner. I don't know if we have this. The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Yes, we do.
Proof of the pudding is in the eating.
The proof of the pudding is in eating.
I like that. Am I right? Then there's Keith. That's
Who's Keith? I mean, I know.
I don't know.
I know that it's that's crazy, Jay.
Yeah, it's Kevin.
Kevin,
Right, from The Tonight Show.
Yeah. So why does it say Keith?
I don't know. That's really weird. By all that is holy. And then I keep forgetting I'm president.
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
You got giblets. Jeffy, you know him, you love him. Explicatives.
Who said that while I was gone?
Biden. No, it wasn't Biden.
Somebody on The View,
was it-
right? Or something?
I
don't know.
maybe.
Sorry. Shouldn't have brought it up.
Explicatives. Yeah, it might have been.
Reporter who got triggered by the flags, I'm told.
Okay. All right. Then we got He's a Damn Sexy Man.
Who's it gonna be this week?
No idea yet, but it'll come to us. It's Just That Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Keith saying,
Of sorts.
which is his new thing.
Yeah, it's a British thing.
I'm not saying anything, quite frankly.
Justin,
Biden.
that's you?
I mean, I'm not saying anything, quite frankly.
All right. Another isolated incident.
Yeah.
Truth over facts. That's another Biden thing, I believe. I don't know if we have that one, though, but we'll find it before the end of the week. Jeffy, darn the luck.
Darn the luck.
Vaccine hesitant. Are you working for Potter now? I feel your pain.
Wait, we don't get a you see? Well, we're just going to get the, are you working for Potter? You're just going to leave us
That's
hanging?
all it says.
Well, but I want the rest of it, man. For the people. I'm speaking for the people.
Are you working for Potter now? You see.
Thank you. I'm
You're good now?
satisfied.
All
Thank
right.
you. Mhm.
I feel your pain. I'll feel your pain.
There you go.
Probably be more like that. I feel your pain. Keith mentions
OPKs, other people's kids.
Okay.
Yeah, they can drive you nuts in public.
then Hollywood. Usually it's in the form of taking the night off from raping each other.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's that. Joe struggles with letters.
That's a free square.
Yeah. Euro douche.
Oh, we've got a Euro douche today, as a matter of fact.
Oh, good. Jeffy, don't bog me down with facts. There is no R in China. And this chick. Let's use our brain cells.
You got a pot.
Internet.
There we go.
Thanks.
Let's use our brain cells before posting on the internet. Thanks.
So let's use brain cells
There we
before we post things on the internet. Thanks.
Take that advice to heart, sweetie.
So ironic, isn't it? So ironic. When you don't even have to say anything. You just know. Okay. Yeah. She didn't think about that before she said it.
This will be a fun week.
Yeah. So when you fill up a line either across, down, or diagonally, and you call us, you're the first one through at 888-900-3393. Then we give you $35 towards getting some great merchandise.
Ooh.
At patheadshop.com.
Got it.
Patheadshop.com. Simple as that.
Simple as
It's
that.
just that easy.
You don't even need the squiggly line.
Nope, you don't. So, apparently, straight pride. There's so much gay pride this month. Every day we're being beaten over the head with gay pride. But if you are to say anything or proclaim your pride, or that you're proud of being straight, well, that's hate. That's hatred, I guess. The left has gone nuts in Ireland over a poster. Irish city of Waterford has been covered with posters celebrating straight pride, and that's been labeled homophobic by the media and leftists. What? Why? Okay, why isn't it heterophobic to have gay pride? That it just the world can't make any sense anymore. It just doesn't. And apparently it's not capable of making any sense. Around 70 of the straight pride posters were put up around the city on the southeast coast of Ireland, featuring a picture of a married couple. The posters declare that straight pride is natural, has worked for thousands of years, and you can make babies by being part of a straight couple. And they were printed on A4 size paper around the size of the U.S. Standard letter paper. And not surprisingly, of course, leftists and media commentators went nuts talking about it. Didn't express any hate in any way at all, but of course it was homophobic. Michelle Byrne, union activist who posted an image of the posters on Twitter, said that it showed that far-right ideas have been growing throughout the pandemic as they prey on people's fears, looking for groups to scapegoat, blame, or hate, and that Waterford needs to come together and rise above the hate. What hate? What hate?
Rise above it, Pat.
I can't take it. It's just too much.
Oh, you better pace yourself, because...
I know there's a lot more. I know. Every day there's lots more to wade through.
Oh, good times.
Debbie O'Rourke of the Pride of the Deese group argued that straight pride is not a thing.
Whoa. That sounds...
Straight pride is not a thing.
Non-inclusive right
Sure
there,
does.
Debbie.
What do you mean straight pride is not a thing? Why? If you can be proud of your sexuality, Why can't I be proud of mine? Why? I mean, I don't really feel proud about it.
I was going to say.
It just is.
It is what it is, would you say?
Yeah. Dude, it just is what it is. Dude, just is what it is. If the show, there should be more magazine-y. But why can't you be proud? If gays can be proud, why can't heteros be proud? It just doesn't, the world doesn't make any sense anymore. So Debbie O'Rourke says straight pride is not a thing. Who are you to decide? And was just being used to target the LGBTQIA2+ community.
Yeah, what happened to It's My Truth?
I don't know. I don't know. I guess that doesn't work for heteros.
Live your truth.
Yeah, you can't. It's similar to the messaging we saw and was used against us in the marriage equality campaign that focuses on family and on babies.
What?
There's just a preoccupation with the sex that queer people have. It always comes up. Wait a minute. No, you're the ones who are preoccupied with it.
Have you been to one of your parades?
Listen to this. We don't have the same fascination with straight people's sex lives. What? I don't understand. I really don't. When you're doing parades over your sexuality, it seems like you're pretty preoccupied with your sex and your sexual orientation. Does that not? You've got a parade in every major city in this country, and then you're going to tell us we're the ones who are preoccupied? Come on now. O'Rourke added that it was scary that some straight people could be proud of their sexuality. We have to be wary, but it's not about letting that fear win. That's really important. For young people, they have much more fear than adults around coming out and things like that. She confirmed that most of the posters were quickly removed by those who opposed the message and that they've been reported to the police. Okay.
Help us.
All right.
Isn't this fun, though?
Yeah, it's fun because if heteros tore down all of the gay pride posters
Oh, gosh.
and then reported them to the police, what do you think would happen? You'd be the hater once again. You're the
jail,
hater.
too.
Yeah, and you'd go to jail.
And your face would be all over the place.
Yep.
Hey, in fact, I don't know, did you see the auto accident there at the parade in Florida?
Yes, which was reported as by the mayor as a terrorist attack.
Sure.
A terrorist attack.
Yep. I mean, it was very tragic that an individual involved in the
Very
parade
tragic.
was killed.
But it was an accident. The guy who was driving the truck
Was a white supremacist straight guy, correct?
No. He was part of the gay chorus in town. Yeah, he's part of the gay chorus. And
so he was obviously paid off by a white supremacist to drive his car into the crowd.
He freaked out somehow, right?
His foot got stuck between the gas and the brake, and that's what caused the accident and the death.
Jeez, really sad.
Right, but the mayor
immediately they jumped all over the fact that it was some sort of straight white supremacist person trying to kill gay people.
Right.
When even the gay chorister said no, and he was part of the gay chorus community as well, the driver. So
a lot of media folks pulled their tweets down on Saturday after seeing the news break. That, oh, crap, you mean they weren't targeting gays or Debbie Wasserman Schultz who was riding along with them? No, there are things called auto accidents.
Yeah. Yeah, they do happen, and we all wish they wouldn't, but sometimes things like that do happen. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Also, we've talked about this a couple of times, but the FBI, do you remember this story from a few weeks ago? They seized all safety deposit boxes in a vault in Los Angeles. Remember that? $85 million was taken. $85 million.
From Americans to the government.
Yes. And it looks like it still hasn't been returned and may never be returned. Hundreds of people. storing valuables in that safety deposit box may never see their cash or precious metals or heirlooms again unless a federal judge intervenes this week. Several are suing the government for seizing the contents of about 800 deposit boxes as part of a March raid of the storage provider, U.S. Private Vaults, which was indicted for conspiracy to sell drugs and launder money. So a few of them were apparently under indictment. All the rest of them, though, were just confiscated. 800 boxes? And you're fine just taking all of them? Huh. I wonder if maybe you should, I don't know, maybe be a little pickier than that. And unless you suspect somebody of wrongdoing, maybe you don't take their stuff. The Institute for Justice is seeking class action status for a May lawsuit by several owners alleging shocking, unconscionable, and unconstitutional behavior by the government. It's a good way to put it. It doesn't go far enough, though. Institute for Justice attorney Robert Frommer accused the feds of an $85 million cash grab from people who are not accused of wrongdoing. Right, again, no charges have been filed against any of these people. None. The civil asset forfeiture notices do not identify any legal basis, namely the specific offense to justify each forfeiture. Yeah, because they don't have to. With civil asset forfeiture, they don't have to. So they don't. And a lot of times, nobody even gets charged. Ever.
It is the antithesis of America.
It is.
And the FBI actively attempting to retain all of these valuables is evil.
And after 3 months now, they've done nothing. They've made no effort to get innocent people's money and belongings back to them at all. It's just theft. That's just straight out theft. While this case is similar to many of our other forfeiture actions, it is also bigger because the government is trying to forfeit hundreds of safe deposit boxes all at one go, according to IJ attorney Rob Johnson. It's also unusual for the government to keep fighting tooth and nail after innocent people contest the forfeitures, he wrote in an email. The feds appear intent to make all these box holders prove their own innocence to get their property back with no evidence of a crime. How awful is that?
Listen to this.
That's not how it works.
This one guy got a $57,000 settlement, if I'm reading this correctly, from an auto accident. And he kept that cash in a private vault there because he didn't trust the banks.
Jeez, he didn't trust the banks.
How about your government? You trust them? I mean, you would have thought, oh, look, here's a place that's off limits.
Nope.
Guess not. Welcome to New America.
Really bad. The FBI appears to have exceeded the search warrant approved by the court, which prohibited snooping on the box contents except to identify their owners in order to notify them about claiming their property. Video screenshots submitted in a different lawsuit show agents going through a box, tearing open packages and envelopes, including coins, after clearly viewing the elderly owner's name, contact information, driver's license on the outside of the box. Had all the information for the person right on the outside of the box. That is despicable.
Gosh, man. Here's a picture I'm looking at of a couple.
Wow.
Holding up a picture of their family heirlooms that were in this
vault.
Well, I mean, this is madness, man.
I mean, this is... I don't even know of a similar instance in the Soviet Union. I don't know that the Soviet Union did this kind of stuff to their people.
Well, I mean...
They may have.
The plus side for living under a communist country is that you probably don't have enough valuables to warrant owning renting out a safety deposit
True.
box.
Unless you're part of the ruling class. If you're in the Communist Party, then you might have some valuables, but they're not going to take them from you. So at least you got that going for you if you're a communist. If you're a loyal communist,
right,
they're probably not going to break in and take all your stuff. So I don't know that there's any equivalent for any government any time in the last 1,000 years that would do something like this.
I mean, these are the kind of stories. Not that he didn't use this, but this is the kind of stories that if Vladimir Putin is speaking about America in front of the world press, that he would say, well, in your own country,
right,
you have private goods and taken from, I mean, just
from citizens.
I can't believe this is a thing.
I know. All of these things were included in a declaration that said items appear to be missing, and the owner's attorneys told the Los Angeles Times last week the FBI inventory left out $75,000 in coins.
Oh, no.
I mean, is that a crappy agent just holding out and taking some for themselves? Who knows? Maybe. I mean, it's going to be really hard to figure out who belongs to what once you've mixed all of this stuff together. And I'm sure they didn't take any care. They were ripping things apart and tearing open envelopes and disregarding information. So this is going to be tough to figure out in the end. The firm has added new clients in the amended complaint, a couple storing $2,000 in cash and $20,000 in silver as a nest egg for retirement. Wow. A nest egg for retirement of $22,000. $22,000. And it was taken from them. And a telecommunications executive with $100,000 in gold, $63,000 in cash, intended as a rainy day fund. Gone. Taken. FBI has it now. Thank you. While the feds argue that USPV, the vault people, intentionally sought to lure criminal activity by marketing the anonymity of its service, IJ's suit emphasizes the company's financial security and privacy benefits over banks. For example, owners were given the only keys to their boxes. The FBI offered to return property to some original clients after they sued, but it has yet to return any of it.
Unreal. I don't care if the company's dirty. I don't care if 99% of the clientele are dirty. There are
innocent people
here that are being ignored by their government. You want to know why people get so angry at the government? It's stories like this.
Yeah.
This is...
And then you sound like the kook because you're anti-government.
Sure.
Oh, really? But the government's fine, right? After they took $85 million from Americans?
Grotesque.
I tell you, we don't talk enough about this. And I mean, there has to be more light shed on civil asset forfeiture because it is probably the most un-American thing that's happening to us right now. That you can't keep your own property, that the government can come and just take it. These people weren't even traveling. Usually you have to be traveling for them to do that.
And that's equally
unconstitutional.
Despicable.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, wait a minute. I can't travel with a lot of cash anymore if I want to?
So
that's illegal?
So the moral of the story, you can't travel with cash,
right,
but you can't store it away either.
No.
So either way, you're pretty much screwed in America.
Yeah. You can't have cash. Sorry. They're going to come and they're going to take it from you. I mean, is this, which is the more egregious governmental crime? Civil asset forfeiture or shutting down our First Amendment rights on Twitter and Facebook?
Can we have both, please?
Yes, they're both very bad and completely un-American. And yet we're having to put up with it every single day, and it's getting worse, not better. We keep trying to talk about it, and it keeps getting worse. 888-900-3393, also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. 30% of Republican voters say they believe former President Donald Trump will likely be reinstated to office this year, according to a Hill-Harris X poll. That's not going to happen, kids. The results are comparable to other polling from Politico Morning Consult released this month that showed nearly 3 in 10 Americans believe Trump will be reinstated. While a segment of the GOP has indicated support for the idea, the vast majority of voters across the political spectrum agree it's unlikely that Trump will return to office this year. It's not unlikely. It's impossible. So I hope everybody listening knows that. Donald Trump is not returning to office. Not this year, not next year, not the year after. Now, in 2024, if he ran for office and received the most votes, why then he could be returned to office.
Could do it? Okay, yeah. I see.
That's the constitutional way it can happen. There is no constitutional way Donald Trump can return to office this year or next or the one after that.
Okay, but play this out, okay?
Okay.
If you're of the mindset that he's going to be restored to office, okay, this year, let's war game that out, if you will.
How does it happen?
I was going to say, can I say that word? Okay. Let's play this out in your head. Is the nation governable at that point?
No.
I mean, come on, man.
No, it is not.
You really think that if he's back in office, then the country, especially the left, is going to be like, oh,
okay, yeah, he's back in office.
All right. Let's do it. Come on. Stop.
I mean, the only way he could be returned to office is through a military coup.
Do you want that?
What you want?
Because I would like to point out that currently there is domestic tranquility for the most part. I got it, to quote Jeffy. In that America, the feds are doing what in L.A. with the safe deposit boxes?
Yeah, they're just civil asset forfeiture.
Right. And that's during relatively calm times, right?
Just taking people's property.
And we've got, 21 people shot in Chicago over the weekend, and that was just through Saturday's numbers, Keith, I believe. Okay, so now just imagine if there was effectively this overturned election in the middle of this year. That'll make it better.
It's really hard to believe that 30% of GOP or 30% of anybody could believe that he could likely be returned to office through what mechanism?
They can't be serious.
How does that happen?
That can't be they gotta just be playing with the pollster, right?
I hope.
At that point, you're just like,
I hope
so.
Yeah,
I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's likely. Yeah, he's coming back. Well, how? Well, because they're going to release the Kraken. Yeah, the release of Kraken is not a constitutional affair. That's not a mechanism by which you return a president to office. So, yeah, that can't happen. So again, it would take a military coup, and I don't think we want that in the United States of America.
Should we take just a straw poll of our own here in the studio? Does anybody want a military coup? Okay, we're at 0% in this room, in that one too. So
yeah, I don't think anybody's speaking up for military coups.
I noticed Rob didn't chime in. Maybe he's the one guy.
The one holdout?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's use brain cells before we post things on the internet.
Right. Thanks. I don't know. It just...
It's not likely, friends. It's,
that's
impossible.
That's a fair assessment.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I will say, though, if recent history has taught us anything, it can always get stranger.
Well, that's true. I mean, to totally rule out a military coup?
I know.
Maybe that's a little too much, but it's highly, highly, highly unlikely. It's only impossible if you completely discount there being a military coup. And so, as you pointed out, I don't know, pretty strange things are happening right now. So maybe we can't completely rule that out.
I would not rule out anything happening on this planet. Yeah. Remember, I mean, think about this. Okay, what's more, honest question. Do aliens reveal themselves in 21? Or does Donald Trump get returned to office? Which is more likely? Aliens revealing themselves, right?
For sure.
I mean, that's where we're at.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
More Packer Unleashed coming up. Tweets here. DMX DM. Your truth is concerning the situation about...
You can't have the straight pride.
Straight pride.
But you can have gay pride.
Right. But straight pride I guess that's hate.
Yes.
For some reason, even though there was no hate expressed at all. But that's hateful and insane, and you're focused on the wrong thing. But there's, so Keith brought up, well, what about my truth? Isn't that my truth?
Yeah.
DM says, your truth is only your truth. If your truth is also their truth. If your truth is not their truth, your truth is hate. That's right. That's exactly right. Rowdy Introvert, was a copy of the Constitution found in the seized assets from the vaults? It sure sounds like it was torn to shreds while they were rummaging through the boxes.
Sure do.
Tyler produces, tweets, who would have thought the FBI would be responsible for the largest bank heist in American history? Yeah, $85 million, I believe, would be the largest bank heist in American history, right?
Poof.
And that would be the the FBI that's responsible for it now. It is kind of interesting. Some news stories, not from Alex Jones, but kind of sounds like it could be. Although we've been talking about this for a really long time, about thermostats being controlled by the energy companies. And they are. I mean, that's not conspiracy theory. That's just fact now. They can do it. And sometimes they do. And there's a story about, some Texans waking up sweating profusely because their smart thermostats were raised remotely. There's a couple of things that can happen there. First of all, the remote or the smart thermostat can learn. So if you have taught it to raise in the middle of the night, which who's going to do that?
No way.
Then it would. But also, there are many times when we've never raised our thermostat to where it winds up in this certain part of the house. And in fact, we turn it down on a regular basis because it somehow creeps up to a temperature that's really not comfortable.
Oh, no.
Like 76 degrees. And it's in the kitchen and living room area.
Can you tell it to not do that?
We tried to by turning it down repeatedly and by programming it not to do that. It still goes up to 76. So I've seen this happen. And not just during this particular time period. They can do this anytime they want. And I think they just do it sometimes. But Texas resident Brandon English says his wife received an alert on her phone. The family said their thermostat had been changed remotely, raising the temperature of their home during a 3-hour energy-saving event.
Stop.
Family Smart Thermostat was installed a few years ago as part of a new home security package.
How neat, huh?
Yeah, isn't that fun?
That's a fun little add-on.
That's great, yeah, yeah. Many smart thermostats can be enrolled in a program called Smart Savers Texas. Yeah, I don't know if we're part of that or not. My wife may have signed us up for that. I don't know. I don't think so, but I think they just do this regardless.
Better look into that.
Yeah. It's operated by a company called Energy Hub. The agreement states that in exchange for an entry into sweepstakes.
Oh, wait. Is this kind of like the vaccine sweepstakes?
Kind of.
So if I hand over control to the comfort level of my house, I could win a prize.
Then electric customers allow them to control their thermostats during periods of high energy demand. Who'd agree to that? I would never agree to
this
that.
Guy?
Energy Hub's list of clients include TXU Energy, Centerpoint, and ERCOT. English said he unenrolled their thermostat as soon as he found out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody else controlling my things for me. A scroll through Houston Reddit boards shows English is, of course, not alone. Several others found that they, too, during the heat wave this week, had their thermostats accessed and turned up remotely. Yeah, I can guarantee you it happens. It happens. Mm-hmm. And I guess there are people who think that's a conspiracy theory. It's not.
No, it's definitely not. And that's that's the fine print, right? That he fell in line with, and that trapped him.
Yes.
But what have we talked about forever? Nudge, shove, right? And so if you're not going to sign up for the sweepstakes that we can control during 100-degree temperatures, then we'll just mandate it. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that smart meter out in your driveway, yeah, thanks. I mean, that in conjunction with your smart meter or with your smart thermostat. I mean, that's why. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a borderline hoarder as it is. I got it. I understand. But that story right there is the specific reason why the old school thermostats that I took off of our walls are in a drawer right now. Because one day that story is going to hit a little too close to home and bloop, bloop, those are going back on the wall.
Do you have the Nest? You have the smart thermostat?
Not the Nest.
No?
I'm not
Something
doing
else,
Google.
though.
Yes. Well, and because do we want to go?
Supposedly saves you money.
Right. No. We went out of town for a week once, and I'm sorry to throw you under the bus with this story again, Carrie, but I asked on the way to the airport, you turned up the air, right, to make it warmer? Yes. When we got back, that home that no one had been in was ice cold. And I walked over to the thermostat, and there it was. No, I got those because I'm cheap, and I want to also be able to remotely myself adjust them, adjust the temperature, check on them, make sure we're not paying the retirement pensions for all of the executives at the electric company. Mm-hmm. But the trade-off is, if it's connected somehow to the internet, ta-da! And then when they come out and do the smart meter, I mean, they've got the keys to your kingdom. And that's why you got to be prepared to go back to the Stone Age to avoid this stuff right here.
Sometimes the Stone Age isn't that bad. And thermostats is one of those. Just set the thermostat and it stays where you put it. I like it. Let me just set it and leave it alone. And it doesn't go up or down based on anything I've done before. I just want it right here, right now. And then if I want to change it because it gets too cold, then I'll move it up. And that's not a bad thing.
But you leave the house and you're like,
and I'll forget.
The dogs can deal with the...
Right.
So,
yes.
No, I turn it so I make it warmer. No, I don't make it ridiculous. I don't make it oppressive. I've got 5 living creatures in there when no humans are there.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to crank it up ridiculously so, but I'm also not going to make it ice cold like when I'm there.
Sure.
So I want that control.
Yes. But because you can access it through the internet, so can others.
Exactly. And so it's so convenient to be able to turn the air on when you're 10 minutes from home. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, looky there. Mm-hmm. You entered a sweepstakes. Did I? No, you didn't read the fine print. That's where they get you. I'm telling you, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's time to go and buy an old school thermostat. At least have it on standby, because one day you're not gonna be able to find it.
Definitely. Yep. I think definitely. To me, it's worth. If I forget to turn it up when we're not going to be in there, it's worth the extra cost because I know that I did it. You know?
Right. Oh, totally.
And that no energy company is doing it behind my back.
I'm a little worried about you in that one part of the house adjusting itself.
Yeah, I am too.
I might want to look into that.
I'm quite concerned. And that's why I'm thinking, yeah, we're going back to the old way.
Or maybe you are about to win a sweepstakes.
Maybe. 888-933-93. By the way, Congressman Ronnie Jackson and several other House Republicans are right now calling for President Joe Biden to undergo a cognitive assessment test after his trip to Europe. In a letter from June 17th, Jackson and his colleagues noted Biden agreed to such an assessment and detailed several examples of where Biden's mental decline and forgetfulness have become more apparent over the past 18 months. You better believe it. Including, in March, forgetting the names of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, and the Defense Secretary. Misidentifying time of day and Democrat members of Congress in February. In May, confusing the dates of riding an Amtrak train and the death of his mother. Botching the first line of the Declaration of Independence in March 2020. Well, he did that twice, actually. So, I mean, there's so many other instances that they haven't covered there.
But I think there's only so much space that they allow you for the print there.
Yeah. But they've made their case. Mm-hmm. And do you think he's going to get a cognitive assessment? No way. No way is he going to do that. Because he knows. People around him at least know. He may not. But those around him know full well he's had cognitive decline. And I'm pretty sure they're going to see to it he won't get an assessment. 888-900-3393. Also, according to a new analysis by the Tax Policy Center, Biden during the entire campaign and all through the first part of his presidency here has said only the rich, only people making over $400,000 a year are going to face higher taxes. Don't worry about it. You won't get a penny more. You won't see a penny increase if you're under $400,000. Well, according to the Tax Policy Center, 60% of households will face a higher tax burden. 60%. You might recognize that as more than just people who make over $400,000 a year. Every single time. That's the case. Only every single time. For those looking to see if Biden kept his promise to not raise taxes for those making $400,000 or less, the answer is mostly but not entirely, according to the Tax Policy Center. Including corporate tax increases, most households would pay more in 2022. About 3/4 of middle-income households would face a tax increase, averaging about $300. But nearly all would be a result of those higher corporate taxes. Biden pledged during 2020 not to raise taxes on anybody less than $400,000, but the analysis shows the majority would see at least some increased taxes from his proposal. That's because it's almost unavoidable. You can't just tax the rich and accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Roughly 3/4 of households earning between $75 and $100 would see their burden rise, about $440. While 69% of those making $100,000 to $200,000 would see an increase of $830 on average. Jeez. The increased tax burden continues to rise the more a household makes, obviously, with 83.7% of households in the $200,000 to $500,000 bracket, seeing an increase of $2,040. The highest burden falls on those making above $500,000, 99.8% of them. From $500,000 to $1 million, we'll see an increase of $8,810. And those making over $1 million would see an average increase of just $265,939. That's not a problem, is it, for anybody? So if you make $1 million, what do you pay now? You pay 40% of that. So $400,000 is taken right from the top, right? Out of $1 million. They're going to take 400,000 of it.
No, because it's progressive, right? You know what I mean? Like, you're going to pay 40% of down the line.
What you make.
Right?
No.
Okay, because if you make $100,000, then you're taxed at a lower rate than that 100 to 200,000 is a higher rate, and so on and so forth. But I'm not trying to muddy the waters here. You don't follow me?
No, I think I do, but okay. I don't think that's right.
Okay.
For instance, if you make $1 million,
which I would, Glenn,
I think all of
I'm good with that. If you want to,
if you make $1 million,
do that for me. Okay.
I believe all of it's taxed at 43.9%.
The numbers don't lie.
Okay. All right.
There's not a graduating, progressing scale. I don't think.
Okay.
I think you pay that 40%.
Okay.
Although it comes out in the wash a little bit with your deductions at the end of the year. So you might get some of that back.
Okay, but I don't want to mess up your analogy here. Mm-hmm. So continue on. So you're saying if you're left with 60% of your income.
Okay, so if you make over $1 million, they're increasing your taxes another $265,939, which means in addition to the $400,000 you pay, you would pay another $265,000, which would then be $465,000. No, it would be $665,000 at that point if you are taxed on that full amount of 40%. It's actually 43.9, I think. But that's unconscionable. If they're going to take that much just because you make $1 million, that's just unconscionable. It's immoral to take that much from people. There's no reason for it. How do you justify that as the U.S. government? Yeah, we're going to take as much as we want. We're going to take 50, 60% of your income.
And if we don't have enough from your paycheck, then we'll just go to your safe deposit box and
and we'll take everything there. Yeah, that's just a complete 100% fee for you there. Jeez. I mean, then you figure in your state taxes, and if you have income tax in your state, that's another. For instance, in New York, that's another 12%.
Oh. You know, the one thing that I've always found fascinating, and I'll have to fact check this, but how has Washington State avoided a state income tax, considering how the far left has such control over what happens in that state?
That's a good question.
I wonder how they've avoided having a state income tax there. Pretty sure they still have none.
Because there's only 9, I think, 9 states without.
Yeah, let's see if I can.
And they're one of them still.
Yeah, because there's Texas, Florida, Tennessee, New Hampshire. They get South Dakota, Wyoming. You can tell I've thought about this. Alaska, Washington State, and I'm missing Nevada. Yeah, so
wow.
Yeah, but Washington State. I don't know how you guys have avoided that. Congrats, though.
Yeah, because you haven't avoided anything else. I mean, you've avoided the state income tax, but not communism. So
right. But the good thing about Texas is that sure, we have no state income tax, but boy, do we have the property tax, baby.
Sure do. We sure do. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. Got some tweets here. Jimmy Dimples tweets, Trump coming back this year? I wish, but ain't happening. No, that's exactly right. Jesus coming back then?
Oh.
More likely. And I hope and pray. It is more likely that Jesus comes back this year than Donald Trump into the presidency.
So we should rank them, Like, more likely that Jesus comes back, and then maybe aliens under that, and then Trump becomes president in 2020.
Under that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Turtle people coming to life.
No, okay.
And then Trump.
No. We can't be doing turtle people. You know some of the things I've said on this program about turtles?
That's true.
We'd
be in trouble.
I'm good with the aliens.
Coming for us first.
Yeah.
Or the aliens come down and reinstate Trump, and the earth is flat. That's from EJ. White man. That's why there isn't anything smart in my home. Well, you know what I mean.
Wait, what are you saying there?
Everybody in his house is stupid.
Wait.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Uh-huh.
Jeffy's cardio consultant. Oh, that's not a good gig right there. I still use a good old mercury-based analog thermometer because I don't want my comfort controlled by the internet. Smart. That's your smart technology right there.
No, I see what you did there.
Not using the smart technology.
Good call.
Yuki of the night. I don't want my thermostat to move unless I poke it with my own finger, and only me, because no one else is paying my bill. Yeah, I agree, but my wife doesn't. Eric J 513. Technology is now controlling climate change in your home. Yeah. Well, because here's the thing. As we were reminded by Barack Obama years ago.
We can't drive our SUVs and eat as much as we want and keep our homes on 72 degrees at all times, and whether we're living in a desert or we're living in the tundra,
right?
And then just expect that every other country is going to say, okay,
well, we're America, so they better.
Yeah, actually, we can. We can do that, and we do that. I just said doo-doo.
You did say doo-doo.
I did say doo-doo.
I caught that. That's a future bingo
I tried
square.
to space it out, but there's no getting around the fact. I said doo-doo.
Just do muck and fudge. There needs to be a square that says, you just said doo-doo. Can I just say that 72 is not good enough?
No,
I needed it at 71, 70.
At night?
69, 68.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
we put ours at 69 degrees.
Right.
If you don't like it, then tough, because I pay the bill.
Thank you.
I pay it every month, religiously.
Okay, well, you're not going to be in that sweepstakes then.
No, I don't care. I don't want to be in your stupid sweepstakes.
You could win
What could I win?
An ERCOT koozie.
Oh, wow. An ERCOT koozie? So I could keep my drinks nice and cool?
And you're going to need that help when ERCOT jacks your temperature up to 80 degrees in your house.
Jeez. And they're trying to do that. Seriously, in my kitchen / living room area, we'll have it at 71, and then we'll walk by it, and, it flashes every time you go by it, so you see what the temperature is.
That's really nice.
I guess.
Well, yeah, because like middle of the night, let's say that you wake up sweaty and you're like, oh, crap, has ERCOT been at it again? And then when you approach it, it'll turn on.
It'll tell you. Yes, it tells you where the temperature is. And so it says, sometimes it's 77. I'm like, who would put this at 77 degrees?
Bro.
No one would. No one in my house. Because it gets super toasty at 77.
So here's my question. Do you notice that how many thermostats? You got multiples?
Yeah.
Okay, so do the other ones do that?
Yes, not to the same extent, though. But they do. The one upstairs sometimes will inexplicably go up to the upper 70s. It's done that multiple times. The one in our bedroom, we usually pay too much attention to it, so they can't mess with it too much. But because we're always turning that thing down.
Here's how you get around this, right? You got to appeal to the. It's always the environmentalists, the animal lovers, right? That's the wedge that you got to find. You got to find it with the masks. Right? To say, oh, look what's happening. I mean, there's pictures on the internet. They're horrific. Like birds and stuff getting all tangled up in masks and everything. That's how you drive a wedge in the left through the environmentalist stuff. And you say, hey, I've got pets in my house. And they shouldn't have to pant because I went to work.
Yeah. We've got specialty dogs in here
that
die if the temperature reaches 73 degrees. We can't allow it to happen.
I'm glad you said 73, because if you said 80, I would have said, bro, no, aim lower.
Yeah, 73.
Right.
Maybe even 72.
See, you don't want that.
They go into a coma at 72 degrees.
PETA.
So we try to keep it under that.
PETA, you need to call ERCOT. This can't be happening to our pets.
And for them to recommend that we turn it up to 78 during this particular heat wave,
the most laughable thing.
It's ludicrous. It's just absolutely insane. Nobody's doing that. Who's doing that?
I'll take my chances. Because if I'm on a rolling blackout, then you know what? I'll go and get in my gas-guzzling car, and I'll crank the air up in that. How's that, huh?
You like that better?
I'll get around it one way or the other. Either way, I'm polluting the sky, and I'm chilling out. Okay?
By the way, I don't know if temperatures moderated around the country. Have they? Pretty much now? Because in Texas, the humidity, at least, have backed off a little bit.
Yeah, well, we have a cold front coming in tonight with a chance of storms, Pat. Tomorrow's high in the Dallas Metroplex only reaching 84. And then we're back into the 90s on Wednesday.
That's a nice respite, though. We never get that in the summertime.
It's going to feel good tomorrow.
It's going to feel great. All right. The CDC wished a happy Father's Day over the weekend.
Oh, that's nice, right?
Yeah. Father's Day is a special time, they said, for many families. People who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 can celebrate the day inside or outside without wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart.
They're still talking, aren't they?
If you're not fully vaccinated against COVID-19, celebrate with people who live with you and have a virtual meal with family or host an outdoor event.
Shut up. They're still at it.
It's more of the control. It's just like the ERCOT. It's just like the energy thing. They want to control you with the temperature. They want to control how far you are away from everybody. Even though, essentially, I mean, I don't want to say it's over because that would probably be irresponsible. But it is a lot less serious than it was.
Would you say we're on the backside of the hill?
I would say so.
Okay.
I really believe that. I think, and, the evidence shows it. There was it Boston General I was reading about over the weekend? Not one COVID patient in Boston General Hospital. And that was the case in several major medical centers where just a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, they had hundreds and hundreds of COVID patients. zero now. It's really kind of sweeping the country.
But I mean, the fact that the CDC is still babbling. You remember, because
I know.
How many entities in government operations would say, well, what we're just following CDC guidelines.
Everybody says it.
Everybody did that. I swear, if there is any American, any business, any entity whatsoever that looked at those tweets this weekend and said, oh, crap, the CDC says, hand in your citizen card. Come on, we got to give it to somebody that'll use it wisely, because stop. CDC has lost. They have too many strikes against them.
Yeah, if you're still saying that, well, the CDC guidelines say, we're deporting you to Canada. Okay. You're just going to get deported.
You know what? And in Canada, they're locked down, and it'll work out nicely. You'll love it there.
You will love it there.
Although one of your listeners in Alberta said that that province that has been arresting pastors and Iron Fist and all that stuff, that they just instantly lifted all lockdowns, all mask requirements and everything.
Really?
She said something like that. Like, she says, I don't understand it, but I'm good with it.
And they just arrested that pastor?
Right, just last week.
Did they let him go, I hope? And apologize and maybe give him here's a $10,000 for your trouble. Jeez. I don't know. Here's another catchy song from the left, though, to encourage you to get vaccinated.
Oh, no.
Because if you haven't, you're evil, of course.
Vaccinate. Make an appointment. Oh, gosh. Make an appointment.
Celebrate. This is the Three Dog Night song, Celebrate.
Get rid of COVID. Shot in the arm. Doesn't hurt at all. Boy, it fits perfect.
Doesn't hurt at all.
Gotta make time to go, Pat.
This is embarrassing. Look at these
Gonna make
doofuses.
it to the clinic. New is the time. Now is the time to vaccinate.
How proud their families must be.
Line up 6 feet apart. Don't you worry. This sucks.
Is there a reason there's no women in this chorus?
Oh, it's the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus. I just see that
there
at the
you
top.
go. That's why. That's why.
You're right. I was like, yeah, wait, what's going on here?
That's the reason.
Now I know what's going on.
It's a Pride Month vaccine song.
That's the whole mess.
That's a Pride Month vaccine song. Good. Okay. So I was wondering.
So
They were all a little bit,
they were the 6 feet apart.
good dancers and
No,
stuff.
yeah.
So
Lining up to get the jab.
all of them nicely coiffed. Mm-hmm. So surprise!
That's a bad. I mean, come on. Have some. You talk about Pride Month. Have some pride there. Don't be doing that song on a rooftop in San Francisco. That was terrible.
Yeah, it was. President of the EU on Friday explained how Europeans can get their lives back to normal.
Oh,
Here's all you have to do.
it's
great.
right? Oh, look at this. Here she comes. What's her name? Gretchen or Ursula, I think is her name. Like the witch. Ariel.
Before Easter, we promised to the Europeans that we will do everything possible so that they can gain back some normality when planning for their well-deserved summer holidays.
Perfect accent, by the way, right?
So on Monday, the European Parliament and the European Council signed the regulation for the EU digital COVID certificate.
Oh, a COVID
It is applicable
certificate.
from the 1st of July on. But if you want to, as a member state, you can sign up early voluntarily.
Oh,
And that's what Belgium did. Belgium allows,
I
as
want to
of
be just
today,
like Belgium, so
to travel with a certificate.
Okay.
And they issue these certificates. And here is mine.
und here
So everyone
is your
who is fully
papers
vaccinated or tested negative
und
or has recovered from
these
COVID
papers
can get one.
will allow you
And we have right now
travel?
15 member states that have already signed up.
und
And from the 1st of July, all 27 member states have to apply these EU
Wow.
digital certificates for the COVID.
right.
I am planning now to start my tour through 27 member states for the Next Generation EU, our Recover and Resilient plan. And I'm very curious to test and to see how this certificate will work.
I bet you are.
Thank you.
And we have a ways of knowing if you've been vaccinated. And if you're a doomcough, we'll put you behind barbed wire.
A doomcough?
A doomcough.
I'm not familiar with that.
Really? Yeah, look it up. It's German.
I gathered that much.
Man.
Can you imagine Adolf Hitler
spooky.
with QR codes and
in that
apps?
accent saying those things? I'm sorry.
But all
spooky.
I could think about was like if Hitler had a smartphone, if the Nazis had an app.
Oh my. Can you imagine?
If the Third Reich had QR codes, oh my gosh, how much more efficient could they have been? Oh gosh, terrible.
Yeah.
This is scary. This is scary crap. This isn't funny. This is turning point Europe. And the rest of the world better not be getting on board with this insanity.
Yeah. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let me tell you about Omega XL. If you've been in pain for a long time and you've tried a million different things and you're just really frustrated and discouraged, give Omega XL a try before you finally just give up and say, I'm going to have to just live with this pain. Omega XL, it's all natural. It's not a drug that you're going to become addicted to or dependent on. It's just all natural, and it comes from the pristine waters around New Zealand with those omega fatty acids. Backed by 35 years of clinical research, so they've been doing it for a long time. It actually has kind of an off switch for inflammation, and once that inflammation goes away, then normally so does the pain. Certainly worked for me that way. Built up after about a week, I was getting some relief, and after 2 weeks in my system, the pain in my elbow just went away, and it hasn't returned. So if you want something that could well change your life, let's get you started. When you order one Omega XL bottle right now, you'll get a second bottle for free. Just go to omegaxl.com/Pat, omegaxl.com/Pat. You buy one, you get one free. Or you could call 800-844-4888.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
Great to have you with us. Got some tweets here. Brandished finger guns tweets. Seems the phrase, a republic, if you can keep it, means constant vigilance and correction from a moral people is required of you. Or you'll be subservient to a self-serving, bureaucratic-controlled government and an FBI that robs banks. Exactly.
Yep.
Anti-fascist tweets, these branch Covidians will not stop until every song has been covidified. Kind of seems that way. Tricia Sanders, 33, when you can't make it on Broadway, there's always the COVID choir. Yeah. Yep. There are some people who are really sticking to their principles on the vaccine thing. I don't know if the principle is that they just don't want to be forced into doing something they don't want to do, or if they have some issues with the vaccine or vaccines in general, or maybe it's a combination of the two.
It could be the fact that there's something that's completely unproven that everyone wants injected into my body, then I'm going to protest.
That hasn't even, again, been approved by the FDA. This is just authorized for use in an emergency way. So it's not even approved.
Well, but that's just a technicality. That's what that is. It's just a technicality. Don't worry about that.
Anyway, Buffalo Bills wide receiver Cole Beasley, pretty much sticking to his guns, it seems.
Love him.
What do you want to bet? He's being beat down on Twitter even as we speak.
He is. Yeah. Yeah, he absolutely is. But you know what? This is the same franchise, the Buffalo Bills. Remember they said, the general manager said something like, I could see cutting a player or something like that if they didn't get the vaccine.
Oh,
Excuse me? What was that? So this is that team.
So Cole Beasley says he's not getting the vaccine, and he'll retire before he gets one.
Good for him.
He said, I don't play for the money anymore. Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be sweet. My family has been taken care of. Fine with me if you want. My way of living. So he wants, go ahead and fine him if you want to. My way of living and my values are more important to me than $1. Yeah. I'll be outside doing what I do. I'll be out in public. If you're scared of me, then steer clear or get vaccinated. I may die of COVID, but I'd rather die actually living. Wow. And he's right. If you're in the NFL and you're all pissed off that Cole Beasley is not going to be vaccinated, if you're vaccinated, what do you care?
That goes along perfectly with a meme that I tweeted out. Somebody sent me, and so I was like, oh.
This meme's going around. Yeah. It says this: if you are vaccinated, there is no reason for you to know or care about who's unvaccinated unless you don't trust your vaccine.
Oh, well then.
Right.
Do ya? Do you trust your vaccine? Because if you do, then it's irrelevant whether I get it or not, man.
That's what I don't understand about it. But, the mask thing they claim,
that's for somebody else's protection, not yours.
I don't care about you.
Okay.
I don't care about you. I'm sorry.
But that's for somebody else's protection, not you. You're being selfish by not wearing a mask.
Okay, you pay my mortgage and I'll start caring about you. But until then I'm sorry, I don't.
That's so typical of the hate coming from you people on the right.
Well, get used to it, okay? And don't act like you love me all of a sudden either. But I love how they're pushing this vaccine. These are the latest fatality rates. You ready? Here's the survival rate. The age group that gets COVID between 0 and 19, Pat, 99.997% survival rate.
Ooh.
20 to 49.
Wow.
99.98% survival rate.
Up to 49.
50 to 69 age, 99.5% survival rate. 70 plus, 94.6% survival rate. They are getting rabid over us getting a vaccine for something that you're so unlikely to die from. Mm-hmm. That is suspicious in of itself. If just imagine if it were even if it killed half of the population.
Yeah.
This is literally.
Oh.
This is.
It would have shut down society completely.
This is madness.
If this was Ebola or smallpox, they would have shut down our civilization.
But the governments and the celebrities and the talking heads, they're all trying to shame you into getting a vaccine for something that if you get the virus, there is such a very tiny percentage chance that you're going to die from it.
Which shows you that this is about control.
Control.
That's what it's about.
It's all about. And just imagine if it were serious, how they would be acting. Oh my gosh.
They'd have complete control right now. Complete. You wouldn't make a move without their say-so. You wouldn't go to the grocery store. You wouldn't go to a bank. You wouldn't be in a convenience store. You can't go out and get gas. None of those things would be possible if this were a more deadly disease.
And this is their test run, man. This is now they're flexing their muscles. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, your continued compliance is what prolongs this nightmare. Don't be a doom cough. I looked that up. I know it means a stupid person, a blockhead. Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Mm-hmm. I like expanding my vocabulary into foreign languages and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The NFL released a memo to all 32 clubs this week, must have been late last week, informing them of the updated procedures for vaccinated players. Essentially lifting most COVID restrictions, but for unvaccinated players, they're still going to be required to be tested every day, wear masks, and observe proper social distancing, while also being prohibited from social media, marketing and sponsorship activities, and other limitations. How pissed would you be if you were a non-vaccinated player right now?
Yeah, they're separating you from your teammates. This is what Cole Beasley is speaking out against.
They will also be subject to quarantine after high-risk exposure to COVID-19, while vaccinated players will not. And Beasley's a little upset about that. He said, "This is crazy. Did we vote on this? I stay in the hotel. We still have meetings. We all get together. Vaccinated players can go out of the hotel and bring COVID back into where I am. So what does it matter if I stay in the hotel now? 100% immune with vaccination? No." Jeez. He took aim at the Players Association for inaccurately representing the voice of the players. Players Association is a joke, he said. Call it something different. It's not for the players. Everyone gives me the 98% of people who are vaccinated don't get it again. The odds of me getting in the NFL and playing for 10 years are lower than that. And here I am. With traffic and weather together every 7 minutes on the 6s. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Brian Moore tweets, these butt-stupid governments need to realize most of the people have moved on from COVID and vaccines, but they're trying their best to keep the lies and panic going.
Nobody's still buying it, are they?
No. No.
Oh, hold on. Wait, we have some video here. What are you doing, dude?
He's got a mask on in a swimming pool. Hello.
He's underwater with it on. What is...
Wow. Okay.
I can't.
All right. Tobin for Peace campaign tweets, so the EU COVID certificate is a dystopian nightmare, no question. But at least they include those who have recovered from COVID-19 along with the vaccinated.
That's good pickup. Yes.
Yeah.
She did mention that. That's
still better than the CDC.
Yeah.
Breaking news. The aliens from the UFO sightings finally declassified, just watched the vaccinate video and decided no intelligent life could be found here. Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. Good stuff. No, okay.
All right.
We got it.
We got it. Hey, then our old friend, what's his face here?
You talking about Thomas Massey?
No.
Keith Olbermann.
Keith Olbermann.
Yeah.
Wonderful Keith Olbermann. Here he is talking about trusting and who you trust.
Now, let's just be honest. There are videos that you can only handle one time.
Yes.
That during the show prep meeting before we start, sometimes we have to skip certain videos without you previewing.
It's a one-time through.
It's a one-time.
I can only do it once.
Like this is a particularly vomitous one, and we didn't have time to clean up before the show started.
Okay.
So you're getting to see this for the first time. You're going to love it, Pat.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to get vaccinated because of some meaningless word salad in your head, like that Chicago Cubs baseball player about how other people must get vaccinated, and then when they do, that means you don't have to?
I like that.
Or is your excuse the threats of the lawsuits against the vaccine mandates from a New York City law firm? Or are you from the Marjorie Trader Green school? I don't believe in science, I believe in God. If that's your anti-vaccine excuse, I don't trust science, I have God, let's test that theory from your own life. How many times a day do you not only rely on science, but actually trust science with your life? You trust science that overnight the water that comes out of the tap in the morning was not poisoned. You trust science that the food you eat was protected from botulism and E. coli and everything else that could go wrong and kill you. You take medications, vitamins. You trust science that the next pill isn't actually rat poison. You leave your home. You trust science that while you are gone, the wiring will not catch fire and burn it down. When you leave, you drive. You trust science that the tires won't blow out at high speed or the steering wheel won't come off in your hands.
He thinks he's
or
making
in the other
such
cars,
a
he's good. He's on top of it.
cars
Look at
you will
this.
encounter today. You get on a bus, a train, a plane, a bicycle. You trust science with everything. And say something does go wrong and you have to go to the hospital. You trust science to call the ambulance. You trust science to get to the hospital. You trust science that you won't feel the pain. You trust science that you will live through the night. But then there's the universal answer of all answers to all of that. When I'm driving, eating, having brain surgery, or switching on a light to read my Bible, I'm not trusting science. I'm trusting God.
Oh, he's good.
Well then,
he's good.
One last question.
Tell me what?
Whether it harms you or it helps you, why aren't you trusting God about the vaccine? Amen.
Amen. Oh, he hit us with an amen.
Oh, man. I'm trusting the science that I don't have to watch him at all, ever again, because I have no idea what his show or video or where'd this clip come from.
I love how this the subtle how he does his videos from his balcony.
Yeah.
And he shows, look at me. I've got an apartment that overlooks Central Park.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to know that I may be completely irrelevant, but I've already made the cash to afford this place. Jeez. So there. He sucks. Still, that's kind of the update
bad.
On that.
He loves, he's so proud of his atheism or whatever it is, whatever he's got against God. Certainly he has something there. There's something going on with Olbermann.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And God. And you know what? God is science. I mean, he created the stuff that makes science science. So they're hand in hand. They're not mutually exclusive, by the way. I don't know why you don't have to separate them. God created science. He's the ultimate scientist. It's just pathetic, his hatred for Christianity.
It is. It's pathetic. And I love how he's like, well, then why don't you take the vaccine? Won't you trust God in that respect? Oh, okay, well, what if I'm trusting God to not take the vaccine? I mean, is that not an acceptable answer? Why this obsession with what I put in my body with these people? I can't take it. It's unbelievable, man.
Mr. Bush, you're a fascist. Get them to print you a T-shirt with fascist on it.
It's hard to argue with his logic, though. Because, like, if you did that, you got a T-shirt that said fascist on it, and then you put it on and you wore it to, let's say, the mall, everybody you walked by would giggle and say, oh, that guy's a fascist. Because he got himself a T-shirt with the word fascist on it, and now he's wearing it, so he must be a fascist.
That'd be a big seller at,
wouldn't it, though?
Five Below.
Yeah, it really would.
Can you imagine a $5 T-shirt that says fascist? Oh, that would sell out in 5 seconds, man.
You're an atheist, Mr. Olbermann. Why don't you get yourself a T-shirt with the word atheist on it?
Isn't the whole thing about science, isn't it constantly being tested?
Yeah.
And therefore, the definition of what it is, fill in the blank, is constantly changing, right? I mean, we see that with everything. Because is he going to make the case that the Earth, that the sun revolves around the Earth, right? As was the case. No, science discovered that's not the case.
Yes.
Because it's changing, bro.
Yes. Yeah.
And the opinions, the medical opinions of this vaccine, this treatment, those are constantly changing just in the past 8 months that they've been available, dude. It's all just, I can't, this guy.
Well, Fauci himself talked about the evolution of science.
Everything.
Just a week or so ago.
Constantly, right? He keeps changing his mind on everything. Their savior.
Do we have that clip where he talked about the fact that science evolves, changes? Maybe you don't have that at the ready. But I mean, the guy has been wrong so many times.
Made a career out of it.
About so many things. Clear back in 2003, there was a doctor calling him out.
And it goes a little something like this.
We hear from a physician in Durham, North Carolina. Good morning.
Cool. Here we go.
Hi, good morning, Dr. Fauci.
Good morning.
And, Pedro. You've been at the NIH a pretty long time, and it seems to me that during your tenure, our ability to control infectious diseases hasn't improved, but in fact worsened. And even basic health tips such as you can't use antibiotics to treat viral infections has not been adequately communicated to the public because, for instance, people will come in demanding an antibiotic for a common cold, or any other viral infection, which has certainly served to create more resistant strains. Not saying that this has anything to do with this particular SARS epidemic, but don't you think it's time that you step down and let someone else who has a more effective message?
Actually, no.
Well, she was ahead of the curve. 2003. Now that honestly, I gotta be honest here. That may have been your best Fauci impersonation ever, right there. Let's hear that again.
No.
I saw that over the weekend. Steven Crowder tweeted this out. I haven't looked this up myself, but he quoted Fauci from 1983. Quote, this is Fauci talking. It's possible that routine contact in a family household can spread AIDS.
Oh my gosh.
He also said AIDS could be airborne.
In 83? Wow. Okay.
The guy is in the wrong line of work. He has made a career from just sucking at every turn.
And look how respected he still is.
Right, look. He screwed up AIDS.
Worships him.
Yes, he screwed up AIDS. The testing done on kids without their knowledge with the AIDS drugs. You've got this lady calling him out on SARS.
Right.
What else did he screwed up something else? Oh gosh. Remember the baby scalps? He acts like he has no knowledge of that, and the babies would have to be alive for the hair to still be growing, and then before they transplant them to rats. The guy's evil. He just is. And now he is worshipped over this COVID thing that he's gotten wrong and changed his opinion every 6 weeks. I can't understand this guy. You called it from the very beginning, from the first time this guy opened his mouth on COVID. You were like, something about this guy I don't like. But yeah, he sucks.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating.
The proof is in the pudding and the eating. Speaking of that guy, our fearless leader.
Oh no! What?
Just celebrated Juneteenth over the weekend, right?
Oh yeah, he
Saturday.
made it. He signed it into federal law.
And it was it Friday, Thursday, or Friday? He made it federal law.
I don't know because my mail came both days, Friday and Saturday. So I don't understand how that happened. But okay.
Oh boy!
So
you've already violated your federal holiday of Juneteenth?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
So yeah.
The interesting thing about him signing it into law that it's a federal holiday.
He's passionate about it, Pat.
He's really passionate. That shows you how passionate. This must have been a long-standing feeling deep within him, in his heart, in his mind, in his bones, in the marrow of his bones. He felt this.
He's been in elective office for half a
50
century.
years.
Yeah, so he's constantly trying to get this thing to pass through.
Yeah, I bet you in 72 he was probably talking about Juneteenth becoming a national holiday. Finally, he got it done. And here's what he had to say about Juneteenth last year, just to show you how passionate he is.
Talking about
it.
Trump, right?
He's going down at Texas on Juneteenth, right? The first major massacre, literally speaking, of the Black Wall Street, right? Years ago.
No, not right. So he didn't know what Juneteenth was.
Not a clue.
Last year. He had no idea what it was. And
not a clue.
Now it's important enough to him to make it a national holiday.
The thing I love about this clip is not only shows that he has absolutely no clue what he's talking about when he conflates Tulsa and Juneteenth, but this was about the 3-week period in June of 2020 where he thought it was hip to dangle his mask off his ear so he could still virtue signal without actually covering his mouth. Let's see that again. Look at this.
Going down at Texas.
That's a good look. That dangle right there.
First major massacre.
Right, look at that. Turns his head. Dangle.
Black Wall Street. Right? Years ago.
Black Wall Street. No, that's not what it is.
Guy.
There, bud. That's not what it is.
He sucks.
Oh, that's the worst.
Who sucks more, Biden or Fauci?
Not Biden. I think Biden. They're close, but Biden.
That's tough, dude. You know it's tough.
I mean, Biden has more say. Biden has more power to do things in our lives, but they're both bad.
But Biden will do anything Fauci says.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Oh, that's a pat poll for later.
I guess the betting is opened on the odds of Joe Biden completing his first full term of presidency.
Oh no!
It appears increasingly likely that he'll complete a 4-year term in office. Really? Does it? Despite initial skepticism over the 78-year-old's capacity to see the job through. Biden beat, of course, Donald Trump by supposedly 7 million votes and defied his critics, Trump being one of them, who said he was too old to serve as commander-in-chief. I stick by that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not too old necessarily. He's just too senile. He's losing it. But the president's polling numbers have fluctuated over his first 5 months and right now sit around 53%, which is weirdly a little bit better than the 46% approval rating that he had back in April.
That is interesting.
At one stage, he was considered almost 50-50 to quit his post or be forced out. Those odds have since become 4 to 7. 4-7 on him.
So a better chance of him
staying in office.
That's okay. Whatever. I don't know how they're doing that
till 2024. 60. So they're giving him a 63.6% chance of keeping his post.
Okay.
Wow. I think that's generous. The vice president, Kamala Harris, remains 4-1, the front runner to be in as president come 2024, while Donald Trump is floating around 6-1. Although he's yet to confirm whether or not he's running. There are also suggestions Florida Governor Ron DeSantis could rival Trump. We gave you that. He's 11-1 in this Vegas betting. But he was the winner of the Western Conservative Conference over the weekend. So I don't know. We'll see. A lot of people think now, apparently, that Biden's going to see it through. I do not. I think the end of the year, maybe, certainly,
Don't hedge.
by January 20. Well, I said
Christmas.
I said 6 months to a year, and so that's anywhere in that time frame.
Okay. All right. Hey, I mean, it's very early in the polling, but we've posted at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Oh my gosh, I just refreshed, and it's right at 50-50. Who is worse, Joe Biden, Anthony Fauci? 50-50. And
okay.
I mean,
we'll see.
I mean, y'all can comment all you want underneath the poll, but you just need to vote. But I will just say this: I don't want to color the voting here, but Amy What's-Her-Face has made an excellent point underneath the poll, and I wish I could change my vote now.
What did she say?
See, now I'm going to affect people.
Oh, come on.
I voted Joe Biden, but she says Fauci because he knows what he's doing, and that's an excellent point.
Right.
I keep forgetting I'm president.
See, I mean, that's the thing. See, she's right. Fauci's evil. Biden's evil, but he's gone.
But as I was telling you a while ago, as we suffer through Fauci continuing to try to control our lives with this COVID-19 thing, the Boston Medical Center has zero COVID patients. They had 229 at the spring peak. Also, let's see, COVID hospitalizations per 100,000 people have fallen across the U.S. This month, Yale New Haven Hospital closed its last pop-up COVID intensive care ward. 28 beds had been held there for desperately ill patients, and now they don't have to do that anymore. So, I mean, even in the places where it was kind of a hot spot, the Northeast, things are cooling down, and we're not having the same issues that we had. So I think that soon Fauci is going to lose any sort of power structure that he has right now at the present time. And that will be a glorious day when we don't have to hear his name again. He is an attention whore, though. He is
totally
everywhere. Every newscast, on podcasts all over the place, anywhere anybody will broadcast his voice or image, he's all over it. Completely all over it.
So, yeah. Can we just hit that Biden thing real quick? So you're still putting money on, not money, but you're still putting your chips on the table.
6 months to a year.
6 months to a year.
I am. And what are you betting on? Do you think he makes it 2 years? How long do you think he goes?
Yeah, I still think they're gonna. I mean, I'm leaning more toward your prediction at this point, but I was thinking they're gonna give him 2 years, early 20. They're gonna start the rumbles probably just before the 2022 midterms to make it look like they care about the direction the country is going, and then by the time they get that 2 years under, so they could try to get 10 years out of Kamala, who had a fundraiser, some sort of gathering this weekend where she showed up, and she put her money where her mouth is and had a whole bunch
diverse,
of
inclusive.
Yeah, look at all these women of color surrounding this
get together.
This table that she was visiting somebody's house. Okay, so we got a few people sitting around there. Oh, I see. What's her name there? And so, a bunch of white women there in the shot. I'm seeing whiteys.
Is there a single? That might be an Asian person.
Might be one
on
Asian
the right?
Yep, and then the 95% of them are all whitey McWhite faces. But there are people of color. Let's get a close up, can we? Oh, there's the guy. There's the servant, like the butler guy, And then let's go to the front door. There's another woman of color. Oh, look, she's waiting to serve as well.
These hypocrites!
There's your president in
I
waiting.
asked my mom if there's a word for this, and she said there is. Hypocrisy.
Thank you. So
So
Kamala
great.
Harris.
Wow.
Lil Miss Diversity.
That is, the proof is in the pudding is in the eating. Okay? There it is.
There it is.
The guy from Barstool Sports, I love this guy, Dave Portnoy. He has celebrated the end of COVID. And that, of course, got him banned from Twitter. But here's what he had to say.
See it? See that streak right there? See it? Bang!
Sunshine.
You know what time it is? The first golden hour of the year. Bang! It's been 16 months. But you know what I do. You know when I have an enemy, what I do. I put a bottle of champagne on the desk in my office. Look at that streak. Look at it. Bang! And I wait for them to fail. Well, look what I got today. I brought it from New York City to the Hamptons. Look at this bottle. Look who is engraved on the back. I've been waiting for coronavirus. What a year I've had this. Just waiting. Finally, I can pour it. And I can drink to the victory because coronavirus is dead. Masks gone. Live life, love, drinks, be merry, chest hair, great hair, all of it. Finally, I get to drink the best drink I've ever had in my life. Coronavirus, DEAD, bang! Enjoy it. Drink up. Enjoy life. We deserve it. Let the roaring 20s begin.
I like it.
I think he might have had a few drinks before that particular one. Right
Possibly.
there.
But he's having a good time. He's not hurting anybody. He's just celebrating. Look, we're moving on.
But how dare you say we're moving on?
Why?
So they took him off of Twitter, right?
Yeah, Jack Dorsey can't
Took him off.
stand it. If people are celebrating the end of this insanity, they're gonna remove. Suspended his account for that. That's all we can gather. It makes no sense other than you got to be on board with the fear mongering. And if you have a voice the way Portnoy does, and you're not towing the line, then big tech's gonna pull you down because they have an agreement.
And Americans are just not smart enough to decide whether or not they agree with him. If you see that video, does that mean that you are just going to live a reckless lifestyle and start licking like public place countertops?
You might start swimming without a mask on.
Oh, wow.
So thankfully that kid in the pool at the hotel, thankfully he hadn't seen that video or didn't take it to heart when he went for a swim there. With his mask on.
It is, like he said, it is just time to get back to normal. Stop with the masks. Stop with all the nonsense. Let's just get back to normal. Morgan Stanley CEO James Gorman has just said that he expects all New York City staff that work for him to return full-time to the company's Times Square home office by Labor Day. And if they don't, they may face salary cuts. And he said it would just be a completely different discussion at that point. He was speaking at the firm's annual U.S. Financials Payment and CRE conference when he made the remarks. Some of the strongest indicators. You know who else feels this way? So Morgan Stanley's CEO, also Jamie Dimon.
Oh, wow.
Chase is saying, yeah, people need to get back to work.
Yeah, Disney dropped their mask mandate. People are running around naked face.
At Disney. Politically correct Disney.
Love it.
It's time. All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow and on the Glenn Beck program next.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.